What is up, guys? It's G10 coming at you with a review of what is, in my opinion, one of the better mechanical keyboard options out there, the RK71 from Royal Kludge. Let's get into it. Alright, first let's get price out of the way. Most budget mechanical keyboards are a bit hit or miss, but the RK71 hits the balance between price and performance solidly, coming in at around $40 to $50 or 2,000 to 2,500 pesos, depending on where you buy it from and what version you get. You can choose between white or black with three different switch options: Kale Blues, Kale Reds, or Kale Browns. You can also choose between perky RGB or a single color LED, with the single color LED, of course, being cheaper. I got myself the white version with red switches because I like linear switches a lot more than tactiles or clickies. The Kale red switches are a tiny bit heavier than Cherry MX Reds, comparable to Gateron yellows at 50 grams of actuation force. They're also a lot less scratchy than Cherry MX Reds. Here's what the Kale red switches sound like compared to some clicky Otemu blues. Now, I've been a mechanical keyboard fan for a while now, and I have a soft spot for keyboards with a small form factor. However, I'm not really into 60% keyboards because they do take quite a bit of getting used to because of the different layers and functions you need to know in order to be effective. The RK71 hits the sweet spot with a much smaller form factor than a full size and more functions than a 60%. I have a fairly small desk, so replacing my old full-size keyboard with the RK71 gave me a lot more space to move my mouse. The thing that elevates the RK71 over 60% keyboards is obviously the number of keys. Most 60% boards don't have dedicated arrow keys, and the navigation keys are usually in another layer. The RK71 has these all on their own keys, which makes typing a lot easier. Sadly, the print screen button does not exist on this keyboard. However, we can remap the pause button to be print screen, but we'll get to that later. You can also access your function keys with the FN key. The RK71 has a matte finished plastic case that's pretty thick, though the keyboard as a whole does have a substantial weight to it because of the metal backplate. It has a pretty comfortable typing angle by default, but if you want it a little bit higher, it comes with magnetic riser pads that you can stick onto the top feet. This is also a Bluetooth keyboard with 5 different connection profiles, so if you have 5 different Bluetooth devices you want to type on, the RK71's got you covered. There is a noticeable amount of input lag when using Bluetooth mode, which is fine for typing or casual gaming, but if you're into competitive video games like League of Legends or Valorant, I recommend staying in wired mode. If you do decide to use this keyboard wirelessly, it has a pretty sizable 2000 milliamp hour battery, which can stay on for like a week. The keyboard lights do turn off when not in use to save battery, which is a nice feature. If, like me, you prefer to use keyboards with a wire, the RK71 comes with a USB-C to USB-A wire that matches the color of the version we bought, which is a nice touch. The RGB RK71 has a lot of different lighting options that you can switch between on the keyboard itself by pressing FN plus home to switch the lighting mode and FN plus end to switch between colors if you're using a single color mode. You can also control the speed and brightness of the lights with FN plus the arrow keys. Now, here's something that makes the RK71 pretty unique in my eyes. It has RGB underglow lighting on the sides of the keyboard case where you can see the colored plastic accent. You can control this underglow lighting with FN plus insert, but you can only switch between 2 RGB modes and 6 static colors. You can also just leave the underglow off. The RK71 does have a configuration software available, but it's a little bit hard to find, so I'll include a link in the description. The software itself is pretty basic, allowing you to control the per key RGB lights as well as letting you set macros and configure which keys do what. This is where you can rebind the pause key to print screen or whatever you like. You can also toggle and configure gaming mode through the software, which gives you the option to disable Alt tabbing, Alt F4, or the Windows key. Now, finally, let's get to the keycaps. The default keycaps that the RK71 comes with are already pretty good quality double-shot PVT keycaps and feel really nice to use, though there is a little bit of a noticeable wobble. The font is relatively clean and not too gamery. Overall, it's a nice set of keycaps, especially if you like the lights to shine through your keys. But for me, half the fun of a mechanical keyboard is customizing the look with some nice keycaps, so let's make this keyboard a little bit prettier with some caps that I think will fit the white case very well. So there you have it. The RK71 is a really nice, clean-looking keyboard with more functionality than a 60% while still maintaining a smaller form factor than your average 10 keyless or full-size keyboard. If you're in the market for a great starter mechanical keyboard that won't break the bank, the RK71 is definitely one of the better options out there. I personally will be using this as my daily driver for the foreseeable future. This has been G10 coming at you with my first ever keyboard review for unbox.ph's The Next Tech Tuber contest. If you want to help me out, you can do that by liking and sharing this video. It would mean a lot to me. And of course, stay tuned for more. Peace.